check this shit out. No. Look at this. It's a big boy. It's got color maps in it too. Jerusalem, the time of Jesus, Paul's missionary journeys. That's pretty awesome. It's a big one too. This is like $4.99. $4.99 for that big ass Bible with color maps. My favorite magic book. That's why Ross is awesome. Like I go in Ross and it's like, yeah, I need some, you know, I'll need something, room freshener or a candle or something. And it's like I go in there and the prices on stuff are so good I end up spending more money than I originally intended to. Like I can't walk away from the spatula, it's only $1. I don't cook, but you know, I might someday. So I'm looking at this video, I was looking at this earlier, and it shows this car in Maui completely melted. The aluminum melted, the parts of it melted, and the grass and the trees and everything else around it untouched. Now they're not letting journalists into Lahaina. They're not letting anyone in there to look at any of this stuff because they don't want them sending these pictures around the world of this kind of thing. Now, they've already pointed out that anything blue didn't burn because for whatever reason, if you use like a laser on something, the only color it doesn't work on is blue. Has something to do with the spectrum, the light spectrum. There's videos on YouTube that show laser on things, but when you go over like say a blue tarp or something, it won't burn, it won't heat up. And then you marry that with the microwave energy that they're using in these EEWs, which is basically like when you put a plate of food in your microwave, like that food will cook, but the plastic plate won't because it doesn't heat plastic. And that's also why you see barrels, like garbage barrels, like plastic trash barrels around there that are fine, you know, and everything else is burned. So it's a great video. I'll link it in the comments, and of course I had to jump in there and leave my cryptic kind of comment, because you have to be cryptic, right? You can't just come out and say what it is or you're going to lose people. I don't necessarily want them to come and see me or my stuff, but what I want them to do is maybe look at what's in the comment and then look at those words. Like the other day they had one on Oprah and I was mentioning something about John of God and that whole thing, and maybe people will look at it and be like, oh wow, what does that mean? And then go look at it. So and the reason you got to be kind of cryptic is, even though anyone looking at that video already is kind of agreed that it's not natural, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be watching that. Even though this is clear evidence that's not natural, it's showing, you know, the car completely melted in this little area, this little field. Intense heat that melts aluminum, you know, and all. But the trees and the grass, everything else around it is fine. There's green grass around it, so they already made that step. But a lot of people aren't prepared to make the next step, which is, this isn't a new technology. This isn't something they came up with in the 70s. This is ancient technology, and it's a technology that would probably be better understood as magic, because that's what it is. This is black magic, ritual, high-level, evil, fucking Satanist wizard bullshit. But a lot of people don't want to make that step down that road because it's far too ridiculous to some people. And I understand. Like, there was a time when it would be to me as well. I've always kind of been into looking at that stuff, so I knew that existed on some level, but I didn't know it was being weaponized and used against people to like the level that it is now. Oh, sure, you can have one on. I'm not saying you have to buy one. There you go. Oh, no, don't worry. Yeah, sure, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. There you go, man. Have a good night, buddy.
You have a light?
Yeah, I got a light right here. How you doing?
Good, yeah.
Good, good. There you go, man. Have a good night, man. God bless you. So people are open-minded, are becoming more open-minded to the fact that it's not what they're saying it is. They're not following the narrative, right? But trying to get them that extra way down the road is a bit much. So I try not to do that. I try not to come out and say it, you know. And there are other people that do know that shit, and they kind of operate in the same way. Because you don't want to turn people off to looking into what's really going on, you know. And it is. It's all magic. It's all ritual. It's all black magic. They give us science. They use magic. It's just how it is. It's always how it has been. That's the system we live in. And because of how magic has been presented to us as something from fairy tales and stories, it's patently ridiculous when someone posits that as some kind of theory as to why things are the way they are. And when that's exactly what's happening here. The stuff they're using is no different than the stuff that you'd see from the Ark of the Covenant, or these great religious weapons that have been used throughout time, where they turn fortresses in the desert into fucking mountains. You know, that's why you come out to these places, you know, and you'll see like mountains that have like windows in them. And you're like, wow, how'd they chisel a window into this mountain? It's like, well, it wasn't like that. Now that's not the same weapon. It's not the same spell. Of course, the spells are different, you know. But this spell here is the same one they use, and that's what they are. They're spells. They're just spells. They're worked up, however you want to, you know, however you want to look at it. You know, it's done. It's spellcraft. There are components to these spells and these rituals. Components could be things as small as the name of the streets, or, you know, numbers, gematria, or it could be the inclusion of other things being put in this reality to harden the cement, like that book that was written about the whole event before the event ended. That's a component of the spell. This is all black magic spellcraft bullshit. And it's important that you kind of understand or begin to learn a little bit about it, because it's affecting you every day. When you go to a vending machine, you are you're doing a magic ritual. You're being part of magic ritual. That's intent and action. You're like, I want that. Fucking set it up. So I'm going to reach in my pocket, take this money, and put it in there, and now I'm going to get that. That's a magic ritual. And this shit happens all day long. You know, it's the same thing with contracts. Why everything has to be contracted. Evil works with contracts, terms and conditions. You have to agree to let them aggress onto you, because otherwise they can't do it. You're protected by God. Same thing with the vending machine. You're taking part in this ritual of your own free will, of your own volition. You know, you're doing it yourself. You're not, you know, no one's forcing you to do it. When you start looking at everything around you, you'll realize that everything around you is designed to work that way. So you're working with magic all day. And if you're not working with it, it's working through you. What these people do is industrial scale black magic, you know. And but the thing is, here's the thing. I don't even know if it matters for people to know exactly what this stuff is, because it's the old, the car got a nail in the tire, you know, and now we're on the side of the road, right? It's like, yeah, it would be good to know who the asshole was that put this nail in my tire. But right now, the important thing is that we fix this and get back on the road. So yeah, the exact method of how, you know, we're being attacked, or how these things are being done to us, is a bit nebulous, elusive at the moment, and in some way you may never know exactly how it's done. But the most important thing is to fix the tire and get the car back on the fucking road, you know? Don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.